Okay, let's get started. Welcome to episode 6 of Baseball Alberta's Lunch and Learn series, air quality policy. Thank you for taking the time to learn more, and thank you for being a champion in your community for baseball. I think the sport volunteer is the most important person in the Canadian sport delivery system, and we are here to support you in all your endeavors. Please remember to leave feedback for our sessions. You will receive a follow-up email with a Google Forms survey. The time you will take to provide feedback will only enhance our deliveries in the future. We are getting some great ideas, scorekeeping specifics, hosting a provincial championships that's going to be next week or in 2 weeks' time, risk management, things like that. Just FYI, we start these sessions at 12:15 because people are kind of off at their break at noon, and it gives them 15 minutes to get settled in. So that's why we do start them at 12:15. Today it's all about the revised air quality policy and the challenges, and of course a question and answer. So the structure of the lunch and learn again is 15 to 20 minutes of content and then question and answer. Please provide your questions in the chat, and I'll get to those when we're done with the content. The session will be available on our YouTube channel and podcast channels via our website. You can look to the previous for the previous episodes there. Lots of learnings to do. Let's get into it. So how did we get here? Baseball Alberta Board of Directors requested that we revisited the air quality policy moving into the 2024 operation year. Due to many issues regarding the current policy of 2023 and how it was affecting our associations. So, especially our rural associations where the technology of monitoring and those elements were certainly limited. So the Baseball Alberta staff, we did an environmental scan of what was happening at the national level and within other sports, in other provinces, and essentially, like, all those factors were considered, and how our sport is different. So we presented a new policy to the board in the winter. At that time they requested us to go back to make some refinements to the structure, and ultimately a new policy was approved in March 2024. So this current policy is closely aligned to Baseball BC. After extensive consultation with them and assistance. So we thanks to Baseball BC. Baseball BC is similar in size and scope to Baseball Alberta, and the geographical challenges kind of aligned to what Albertans and essentially our associations face. The Baseball Canada policy is very different from Baseball BC or Baseball Alberta. They have a hard sediment of AQHI that determines that play isn't permissible. So, when we look at the policy, the view is that, activities in baseball are less intensive physically, and related exertion levels are less when we introduce these activities introduce modified activities. And therefore, the play under the AQHI high risk 7 to 9, was deemed to be permissible. What do modified activities mean? It means that warm-ups such as sprinting and, should be limited, or, limited innings, on the mound or behind the plate, are important. And the choice to opt out is available and keys to this policy as well. When the high risk is 7 to 9 AQHI is present, participants, including umpires, have that opportunity to opt out. Now, communication is paramount here between everyone involved, and members will make these decisions, and won't be forced to play if they don't feel comfortable. Okay. There have been some challenges around the 2024 rollout. Anytime when we release a new policy, our operations are volunteer based, there's always going to be some bumps on the road. Baseball Alberta has committed to improve communication around the policy. I think you've seen it roll out within social media, our newsletters, and essentially today our Lunch and Learn series. So Baseball Alberta umpires have also committed to improving communication. So now, if we need to revisit the policy, if our membership say that this policy isn't working in 2024, the Baseball Alberta Board of Directors are certainly open to revisiting the policy in the winter of 2024, and essentially look to make concrete changes for 2025. But let's go to the important notes and highlight those of the policy. I think that would be helpful for everybody. The important notes for the policy, I'm going to go right off my screen and kind of highlight them. So, the play and activity is not permissible when the AQHI is very high risk and 10 plus. The play activity is permissible when the AQHI is high risk 7 to 9 with caution and modified activities. And the importance of the words there are caution and modified. So players, teams, and umpires may opt out of participation, but must communicate with their respective coaches, OFMs, and hosts. This is where it breaks down. The policy is no good unless that communication definitely happens. So, unhealthy for sensitive individuals and groups, consider rescheduling or modifying outdoor activities. Baseball activities should be carefully evaluated, and organizers should consider shortening warm-up and practice times, modifying activities, or moving indoors, especially for individuals with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions. At-risk individuals, including those with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions, should not participate in outdoor baseball activities during these high-risk conditions. So the onus is put back onto the individual families, okay? And then the decision-making process. This is also where things our first weekend of play, where the air quality affected us, really things start to break down. So air quality can vary throughout the province, and the responsibility for enacting the recommended adaptation described in Section 2 is the responsibility of the local committee of high risk. Now, this is also an issue because people didn't know where to go. So if you don't have that list, which is available to you, reach out to Baseball Alberta office or go directly to your assigner. So this policy is also a Baseball Alberta policy recommended. Now, your municipal user agreement for those fields may stipulate that it's that hard line of 7. This policy doesn't trump that, right? Infrastructure takes paramount. You'll have to abide by that policy. It's same if Baseball Canada event came to town. If they are going to hold a Baseball Canada event at your facilities, well, their policies is different, right? They have to align to the national and Sport Canada guidelines, and therefore, they're going to be, have to align to that 7 AQHI factor instead of a Baseball Alberta policy. At a provincial championship, the on-site tournament committee will have the primary responsibility for making decisions and recommended related to air quality. And these decisions are very closely to what rain would be or other specific weather event, and how we address those with visiting teams. So that is the highlighted view of the air quality policy, and I'm open to questions from the field at this time. I've put in 2 resources into the meeting chat. Thank you to our league manager, Chris Krushernik, as well as Liam Fremont, for putting together that piece of the frequently asked questions regarding the air quality policy. These questions were given to us, through our membership have put those through to us. So we formulated a document for you guys to view. Also special to note in the air quality policy is the use of handheld monitoring. Currently, when we look across the country, in environmental scan of the use of the handheld devices, there isn't an exact regulation in regards to them. That's why we utilize they must have to upload to a cloud monitoring service such as Purple Air. This kind of keeps the handheld devices accountable in terms of their functionality. Through some of the challenges, we also had some really good feedback from a couple of meteorologists that are in the Baseball Alberta membership. They were very helpful in us understanding kind of like this, as this new reality we're facing in sport, or continue to as it evolves with new technologies, new monitoring, and how that relates to the policy. So we're certainly understanding that this is a moving target that we're going to have for our membership. We're going to have to revisit this policy yearly or annually to really understand how this will affect all of us. We're hoping that the government of Alberta continues to enhance their AQHI monitoring through that site, and that will always be the best trustworthy source for us to keep everybody safe. But I think that it takes time and to do it properly. So I think in the coming years, our policy will align to the monitoring available to us, and will be workable. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. That is all the information that we have at this time. I would encourage everybody, especially on the call, to please, when you do find issues that we need to make improvements, please reach out on policy. This one you can reach out directly to me, southmanager@baseballalberta.com. We are open to the feedback. We want to make sure we have a policy that works well for our members and keeps everybody safe. At the same time, provide a little bit of latitude to make decisions on the ground. So again, thank you to all the volunteers and all our associations. Baseball doesn't happen without you. We recognize that, and we're trying to do our best to support you in all your endeavors. Again, please provide feedback on our sessions. It hopefully will get better in the future. So we do have a question from Curtis. Can you go over what happens after the game starts and the air quality becomes an issue? So certainly that's an issue. We can go to our frequently asked questions page for that one, and it perfectly lines it out for our with Chris put together. So games can get moved, or it would be exactly the same as how you would reschedule a weather event. Okay. And I know we have to deal with weather kind of every single weekend, across our leagues. I don't want to speak out of turn on that one. If you look to our frequently asked questions, Chris maps it out exactly how we want to be able to do that. Okay, great. Thanks for all your time. Just a plug for Go Oilers on Friday. Exciting game last night. And have a great weekend of baseball coming up. Thanks, everybody.